CEO canceled her Christmas bonus for being pregnant. What she revealed at New Year destroyed him. Congratulations, my CEO, Mr. Sterling, said with a practiced smile, but we'll have to cancel your Christmas bonus. He said it calmly, just moments after I shared the happy news that I was pregnant. He thought his word was final, a simple business decision. He didn't know that I had the presence of mind to be recording our conversation. He certainly didn't know that at the company's New Year's gala, in front of the board, investors, and everyone who mattered, I was going to make him pay. This wasn't just about the money I had earned. This was about justice. Stick around to see how I got my revenge. If you love stories where justice is served, be sure to subscribe and hit the like button. You won't want to miss what happens next. My name is Sarah, and for 8 years, I was the Vice President of Strategy at Innovate Dynamics. I was the architect behind our most successful product launches, and I had just closed the biggest deal in the company's history, Project Titan. It was a partnership set to double our company's valuation overnight, and my contract explicitly guaranteed a 7-figure Christmas bonus tied directly to that success. The work was done, the deal was closed. In public, CEO Sterling called me his star player, his unstoppable force. He preached a gospel of meritocracy, of rewarding those who drove the company forward. But he was about to show me what he truly thought of my value to his company. I walked into his office on a crisp December morning to share my personal news. Sterling, I began, I have some wonderful news. I'm pregnant. His face flickered. For a split second, I saw something cold and calculating before the corporate charm returned. Sarah, that's wonderful news, he said. After a moment of false congratulations, his tone shifted. However, he said, leaning against his desk, we do have a small matter of business to discuss. Your bonus. My stomach tightened. The Titan bonus? The very same, he said. But with your condition, you'll be on leave for a significant portion of the next fiscal year. We need to reallocate resources to cover your absence. So we've made the decision to cancel your bonus. I stared at him, speechless. Cancel it? My contract guarantees that bonus. The work is done. It's based on past performance, not future availability. Sterling sighed. Sarah, be realistic. Your focus is about to shift dramatically. The company needs to protect its bottom line. It's nothing personal. It's just business. It wasn't just business. It was a blatant, textbook case of pregnancy discrimination. Taking adverse action against an employee due to pregnancy is illegal under the Pregnancy Discrimination Act. He was treating my pregnancy, a protected status, as a business liability. The message was clear. My pregnancy had just erased 8 years of loyalty and performance. I walked out of his office and went straight to human resources, hoping this was a misunderstanding. But the HR director, a man Sterling had hired a year ago, just spouted empty platitudes about company discretion and executive compensation. It was clear HR was there to protect the CEO, not the employees. Defeated, I turned to leave. As I walked down the hallway, a junior HR coordinator, a young woman named Chloe, quickly pulled me aside. I'm so sorry, she whispered. What he's doing to you, it's wrong. You're not the first one. I stopped. What do you mean? Last year, a senior director, Rebecca Sands. She left right after she announced her pregnancy. And before her, another woman in finance. It's a pattern. Her words were a lifeline. My individual injustice was suddenly part of something bigger. Sterling wasn't just a misogynist. He was a predator who systematically targeted pregnant women. This wasn't just my fight anymore. My shock crystallized into cold, hard resolve. Armed with Chloe's tip, my skills as a strategist were repurposed for a new mission. I told Sterling I needed time to process the decision. In reality, I was building a case to tear his empire down. I found Rebecca Sands on LinkedIn. We met for coffee the next day. Her story was sickeningly familiar. She'd been on the fast track for a promotion to vice president. The moment she announced her pregnancy, the talk stopped. Sterling told her the role required unwavering commitment and that her priorities had shifted. It was the same playbook. She was so demoralized that she took a small severance and left quietly. Rebecca connected me to Maria from the finance department. A performance bonus she was counting on was absorbed back into the budget under a vague, restructuring excuse the week after she shared her pregnancy news. Each woman had been isolated, made to feel like a one-off case. I spent the next 2 weeks piecing together a hidden history of abuse at Innovate Dynamics. I discovered a dozen women over a 5-year period who had been demoted, denied promotions, or had bonuses canceled under suspicious circumstances tied directly to their pregnancies. I was building an army. The stories were powerful, but I needed undeniable proof. My source came from the IT department. A senior network administrator named David, guided by an anonymous tip I suspect came from Chloe, had uncovered a hidden encrypted folder on a private server accessible only by Sterling and his inner circle. At great personal risk, he made a copy for me. The file was a spreadsheet, codenamed Project Nightingale. It was a meticulously maintained list of every high-performing female employee of childbearing age at the company. It tracked their performance, career trajectory, and marital status. When a woman on the list announced a pregnancy, a cell next to her name would be marked liability activated. From there, the spreadsheet tracked actions taken to mitigate the cost, rescinded promotions, canceled bonuses, and managed exits. It even had a column that calculated the recovered and reallocated funds. My name was the latest entry. Next to it, in the recovered funds column, was the exact amount of my 7-figure Titan bonus. It was more than just proof of discrimination. It was a blueprint for a systematic, unlawful scheme to defraud employees. It was cold, calculated, and monstrous. Holding that file felt like holding a bomb, and I knew exactly where I was going to detonate it. The company's annual New Year's Gala was Sterling's favorite night. It was a black tie affair where he would invite investors, board members, and key clients to boast about the company's success. This year, he would be celebrating the Project Titan deal, my deal. This party would become the scene of his downfall. I compiled my evidence into a professional presentation. It started with the audio I had discreetly recorded on my phone during my meeting with Sterling. The main event would be Project Nightingale, its damning columns displayed for all to see. I prepared a closing statement citing the laws he had broken, not just the Pregnancy Discrimination Act, but also the newer, more robust Pregnant Workers Fairness Act, which guarantees accommodations and protections. This wasn't just unethical. It was unequivocally illegal. The night of the gala arrived. I found David, my IT contact, who confirmed he had access to the AV system. At my signal, my presentation would override the planned corporate video. At 10 o'clock, Sterling took the stage to thunderous applause. He spoke for 20 minutes about integrity, about valuing people, and about the brilliant success of Project Titan. He never once mentioned my name. As he reached his crescendo, "And I promise you, the best is yet to come," I gave David the nod. Sterling turned to the huge screens behind him, expecting to see a montage of company triumphs. Instead, the screens went black, and his own voice filled the silent ballroom. "Sarah, be realistic. Your focus is about to shift dramatically. The company needs to protect its bottom line. It's nothing personal, it's just business." A wave of confusion washed over the audience. Sterling froze, his smile collapsing. I walked calmly from the side of the room and took the auxiliary microphone. All eyes were on me. "That," I said, my voice ringing with clarity, "was our CEO, Mr. Sterling, explaining why he was illegally canceling my contractually guaranteed bonus for the Project Titan deal he just took credit for. The reason? Because I am pregnant." Gasps rippled through the crowd. Before anyone could react, the screens behind me lit up with the title, Project Nightingale, The Hidden Cost of Being a Woman at Innovate Dynamics. I walked them through it all, the systematic targeting, the stories of the women pushed out, and then the spreadsheet itself filled the screens. The columns, liability activated, recovered and reallocated funds. Names were redacted, but the message was brutally clear. I pointed to the final entry. And there I am, the latest addition to a long list of women punished for daring to have a family. The mood in the ballroom turned instantly. The faces of the investors and board members were masks of horror and fury. They weren't just seeing a moral failing, they were seeing a massive, company-destroying lawsuit in the making. Sterling stood pale and trembling, stammering about misleading data, but his voice was drowned out. This isn't just a betrayal of trust, I continued, my voice firm. It is a flagrant violation of state and federal law. Then came the final blow. A complete copy of Project Nightingale, along with my recorded conversation and testimony from 12 other women, has been sent to my legal team. We have also formally submitted this evidence to the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. That was the breaking point. A major investor in the front row stood up, threw his napkin on the table, and walked out. He was followed by another, then a group. The press, smelling blood, were furiously typing on their phones. The party was over. His career was over. The fallout was immediate and catastrophic. An emergency board meeting was convened before sunrise. By 6 a.m., Innovate Dynamics had issued a press release. Mr. Sterling was terminated, effective immediately for gross misconduct. The story went viral. The news that the EEOC was opening a major investigation became public, and the company's stock plummeted. Desperate to stop the bleeding, the company entered into settlement negotiations. I, along with the other women of Project Nightingale, received a settlement that was substantial, far more than any of us had lost. But it was never just about the money. It was about accountability. Sterling was blacklisted in the industry. His name became synonymous with corporate greed and discrimination. I never went back. Instead, I used my settlement to co-found a workplace advocacy group with Rebecca Sands. We now provide resources to women who have faced discrimination and consult with companies on building equitable cultures. I had my beautiful baby girl, and when I look at her, I know the fight was worth it. I didn't just get revenge. I tore down a corrupt system and built something better in its place. Standing up to power is never easy, but silence guarantees that injustice will continue. By knowing my rights and finding the courage to speak, I wasn't just fighting for myself, I was fighting for every person who had been wronged. Justice isn't always handed to you. Sometimes, you have to take the stage and seize it for yourself. If you love stories where the truth is revealed, you've found your channel. Subscribe and turn on notifications to make sure you're always up to date with life's biggest secrets and dramas. And now I want to hear from you. What life lesson did you learn from this story? Share your reflection in the comments and use the hashtag #TruthRevealed, also telling us the city you watched this drama from. Thanks for watching. If you love stories where the truth is revealed, you've found your channel. Subscribe and turn on notifications to make sure you're always up to date with life's biggest secrets and dramas. And now, I want to hear from you. What life lesson did you learn from this story? Share your reflection in the comments and use the hashtag #TruthRevealed, also telling us the city you watched this drama from.